All right. Good evening, back in the day fans, everybody at home. How is everyone doing this evening? Mike, good to have you back here Thursday night.
Always a pleasure to be here. You know that. Good to see you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Looks like it's going to be bachelor night tonight, I believe, Mike. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
We'll suffer for it. The show will suffer without Jane, but we'll do our best.
This is true. This is true. Yeah. I hope everyone's doing pretty well here tonight. So if you guys haven't heard already, we're hitting something that is definitely lies pretty close to me, and that is we're going to be hitting The Office tonight. Not necessarily The Office as far as the British version, but definitely The Office American version. I don't know a lot of The Office British version. Couple things I've seen here and there, but not a whole lot.
The one thing I remember most, well, first off, Ricky Gervais, he's much a nastier boss than Michael Scott ever was. And then they had a guy, instead of Jim, his name was Tim. But basically all he would do is go react into the camera. So
yeah. I tried to watch. I watched a handful of episodes here and there, and you're right. He was Gervais was definitely meaner, and I want to say a little bit more on more risky, raunchier side too.
Yes, definitely. I think in the way of that stuff in England. So
probably less PC than what the U.S. one was, and I want to say the first couple episodes, the ones that they did here in America, were kind of blow for blow. They more or less just took it and said, "Hey, it worked over there. Let's run with it." So when you see Dwight with his stuff in Jell-O and that kind of stuff, that was all done over there. However, it very quickly takes a nosedive. I remember one of the episodes it was the episode with the, I believe it was the fire drill, where Dwight decided to fire drill and stuff. And that was hilarious here. Well, the one over there, I remember watching little bits and pieces of that. And, Michael Scott here is like yelling, pushing people to get out of the way because he wants to get out first. That one over there, when Gervais and one of the other characters is literally running out the doors and down the stairs, they're pushing a person in the wheelchair out of the way to get past them first. So you think that we went a little overboard. He just took it to the next level. So completely to the next level. Yeah.
That was great.
Oh my gosh.
Hello, fan.
Yeah, hello and good evening, Nate and Michael. We got another one here. When did The Office in UK go on television? That's a great question that I don't have.
When did The Office start in the United Kingdom?
The Office premiered on March 24th, 2005.
March 24th, 2005. So we're almost at the 19th anniversary.
Oh, wow.
I assume that's the British version.
Yeah, the British version had to be earlier
then. So
yeah, British version came before.
Did not answer me correctly. Let me ask.
That's all right. It just didn't have the British version. That's all
right. So we're coming up on 19 years on The Office.
Yeah.
The Office UK edition.
The Office is a 2001 hyphenation.
2001
hyphenation point.
So 2001 in England and 2005 here.
Wonder how many seasons they did over there. That's pretty.
I want to say 2, because a lot of I mean, like Doctor Who is an exception, and Coronation Street's been on since the 60s, but usually British series only go 2 or 3 years, and I don't know if that's just because that way they keep them fresh, or if they just keep looking for new content.
Right.
But yeah.
I wonder if they almost put in like a little, contracts are only good for that amount of time, maybe just because of that.
Right, because even like Faulty Towers, which was a great show, that lasted, I think, 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So, Are You Being Served, which is something I used to watch on PBS all the time.
That used to be a good show. Yeah. My wife still catches reruns of that here and there. Yeah, there was a couple of really good British shows.
And I guess they did. It was so popular in Europe, they did different versions in different countries, and I can't remember his name. It's going to bother me now. I can't remember the name of the main not antagonist, but Are You Being Served?
Are You Being Served is a 1972 hyphenation point sitcom hyphenation point seasons that aired from 1972 to 1985 and starred
John
Laurie
Inman.
Sutton, Wendy Richards.
John Inman, the guy with the gray hair, the mischievous one.
Yeah.
He went around to all the other countries and like played that character. That's how popular he was.
Jeez.
But yeah.
Yeah, Are You Being Served maybe wasn't on Monty Python status, but I mean, it was quite big. I mean, like I said, they're still pushing reruns out here and there. Yeah.
Ricky Gervais received royalties? Oh, hell yes.
Oh, yeah, that was his baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe he's the one that kind of came over and sold it, not sold it off, but came over and got the ball rolling, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm almost positive. And then they came over here, tried to find some people over here that would be willing to jump on it.
Because there's a episode, one of the Emmys towards like the last season that Carell was on, where he's at the Emmys and he's scolding Steve Carell because he's leaving the show, and he goes, "You're killing my cash cow." So
I love when they meet in the elevator.
Yes.
That is great. What does he say? Something about where the mind goes to tickle itself, or something way off. And that's what she said. They pass back the one-liners and stuff, and yeah, that was a pretty cool moment. Yeah. Very.
And then
cool.
later, wasn't he one of the ones in the interview for the new manager's job when they were looking for people? Wasn't he on the laptop? Yeah.
Yeah. He was on when they were trying to find a replacement for Michael. Yeah. It was like him, Jim Carrey. Oh my gosh,
Ray Romano.
Yeah, Ray Romano. Yeah, Ray Romano pulled out his sandwich, was eating a sandwich because he thought it was a sham.
And Jim Carrey kept wanting to go to the Finger Lakes.
My kids are at the Finger Lakes. Yeah.
And then with Ray Romano at the end going, I really hope I get this job. I like these people.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm supposed to start another job this afternoon or something like that.
Yeah, we got JJ on here somewhere. I didn't see where at, but someone's saying hello to JJ. So Janie's on there somewhere. Up, I bet you that's her right there. Hey guys.
Okay.
Hey, Janie, hope you're doing all right here. Yeah, I know sounds like a busy night tonight here. It's okay. Mike and I are holding down the fort. No problem. We're just staying on separate sides, so it'll keep all the problems away.
I like this little kind of takeoff on Sunday in the Park with George with the Office cast. I'd never seen that.
That was I want to say they did it for a promotion that they used to run across on TV, and later became a poster like you would see in dorm rooms and teenage kids' bedrooms. Yeah, they did the full length version of it. Yeah. I always thought it was a really cool scene. It was, really well done too, Quality stuff. We've got a couple comments here. He played Mr. Humphreys.
As John Inman. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
John Inman. Yeah. On Are You Being Served?
I'm going to watch that on YouTube. That must have been when Gervais came on the American Office, that comment right there. Yeah, go look for that clip. It's hilarious. You got to watch it. Yeah. What we got here. Victor Maribel. Vic's with us here. Are You Being Served? Is hilarious. That was an unbelievable show. Yeah. And yet just got home. So maybe that's Janie. Either way, she's with us here. She's with us in spirit. She's hanging out.
Always here.
So when did you first start watching The Office, Mike?
About 3 years ago. I never watched it while it was on, but we don't watch a lot of new TV. But I always heard about it, and my son kept telling me about how great show it was, and then we just started. It's on constantly on Comedy Central, so we've seen a lot of it. I don't think we've seen a lot of. For some reason, we always seem to miss a lot of the first season episodes, and I know in reading up on the show, when the show started, the Michael Scott character, Steve Carell, critics hated him because he was mean, and it's funny when I watch now, I can tell first season because he's got his hair slicked back like Charlie Sheen in Wall Street, and then the second season on, he's got a regular hairstyle and he's a little more bumbling than he is mean. So
yeah, he was. Yeah, the first as a matter of fact, interesting you brought that up with the characters. I'm going to jump ahead here. So the first season really took a heavy hit, and to this day, it's ranked as one of the lowest seasons. I actually put the seasons up here in the ranking. It's how it's ranked just about everywhere you go. So seasons like 2 through like 6 are like the ones that everybody loves, and then season 1 comes in right before seasons 8 and 9, which is after Michael was gone. And you're right, he looks completely different. He acts different. Hair's slicked back, definitely a little bit darker, definitely a little bit more sinister. And yeah, not so much socially unaware of what's going on, and more or less just being like a pain in the ass, or a pain to somebody. I'll tell you what, though, I think there's some really good stuff in that first season. I really do. A lot of people will skip over it, but I mean, there's some early episodes there that, I mean, number one, pretty risky. Some of the stuff they did, like Diversity Day, things of that nature that were really kind of out there. And I'm surprised that, like, in the first season that they were pulling out as many stops as they were. And yeah, you're right. They didn't think they were going to come back and shoot anymore. In fact, first season, I think, was maybe 6 episodes. Maybe someone will come on here and tell me if I'm right or not. And they thought they were done. I mean, any interview you read, every single one of them, they said, well, we shot like 6 episodes or 7 or whatever. And we thought it was over and done with. We said our hugs and goodbyes, and we figured that would be it. And I don't know why they kept running into the second season, but what got them on, or what really made them, was the fact that it was getting picked up. I want to say Apple or someone picked them up, and so you could start streaming it. And that's where they really got the following, and that's where it really started to kind of snowball and take off. And by season 3, I mean, it was huge. I started watching season 3, and I started watching, I think it was 3. They started to put into syndication. I think it was in syndication. Maybe it wasn't. Anyway, I started watching it on Thursday nights. It was on, and I would watch it after Family Guy. And that's what got me into it, because I would get on and watch Family Guy.
That's right.
And The Office would come on after Family Guy. Yeah, we could definitely do a whole Family Guy show here. That would be no problem. Boy, that's another dive in there. Yeah. And just got hooked. I bet you I watched it for a month or 2, and I don't think I sat and really laughed out loud. You kind of grinned and okay, but it was like you really had to soak into the characters to really start to get the humor and to see all the things that they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And once I was hooked, I was hooked. And my wife, 2-3 months, same day, she would look at me and go, "I don't know why you watch a stupid show." And of course, I mean, hook, line, and sinker. I mean, she was hooked on it shortly afterwards too. So yeah.
Well, that's our go-to, and we can't find something to watch at night. We just put on Comedy Central and we'll just watch whatever's on.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I told Juanita we need to start because they're getting close to where they're going to start over again. They're getting close to the finale on Comedy Central. I told her we need to just record after that and catch up on season 1, because I really don't, I always remember, so you came to the Master Grasshopper. I remember the beginning, but yeah.
Yeah, they get played very little. And, even the last 2 seasons take a real horrible beating, obviously, because Michael Scott wasn't there. But I want to say there was some really good stuff in some of those later ones that I watched them just to watch them. And once the show was over, I thought the finale was great. Mm-hmm. And once the show was over, I don't know, it was probably done like 2-3 years. I went back and watched it, and I would start it. It was usually wintertime. I'd be out in my garage doing whatever, schoolwork, training, or whatever. And they were on Netflix at the time. So I would just pull it up and I would just run it, whatever, maybe an episode a night or whatever. And I'd run it all the way through. And you start to realize some of the merit and some of the good stuff that was in those last 2 seasons, despite the fact that people weren't really big fans. So, but yeah. Let me throw a couple comments up here. We got a whole bunch going past here.
All right.
So I watched it in 2013, the last year. Great timing. Yeah, that was the last year that they ran. And we got, hey, Robert's on. Robert.
Hey, Robert.
Spring break maybe there, buddy. Yep, got a week off so I can watch the stream tonight. Very
good.
Cool.
Glad to have you. Glad to have you.
Glad you think of us when you're off from school. Awesome stuff, buddy. I hope the studies are going well. Enjoy your time there. Yeah. Got another welcome, Robert here. Good evening, all. Donna here. Hello, Donna.
Donna.
Good to have Donna on joining us. Yeah. What else we got? Hey, Janie. Yes, 6 episodes. Yep, 6 episodes. That's first season. So yeah, it must be Janie kind of solidifying that for us. I thought the first season was really short.
Because I think Alexa said it was March, towards the end of March. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just threw it down to see how it would react to. And I think right about then, Steve Carell was coming into his own as a quote unquote movie star with Anchorman and 40-year version and
real version that was that Dan in Real Life, I think was pretty early on. Yeah. Yeah. And he's become a pretty fabulous dramatic actor the last couple films I've seen him in. Really is. A lot of credibility. Robert on there again. I'm not a fan of The Office, but I've been finding some behind-the-scenes anecdotes fascinating. Like how John Krasinski pranked the head of the show, Greg Daniels with a wig. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, there's a lot of antics that went on behind the show. They did. I still own probably 6 seasons on DVD, where at the time I was still picking them up if I could. And you would always get a disc that would have all the bloopers. They would always put all the bloopers on, or little outtakes or things that they just didn't put in. And it was just fun just to sit and watch those. As much as it was them cracking each other up, sometimes it was stuff like this. They were playing tricks and antics on each other. And if you get on now, if you guys remember a Peacock, you get on, you can watch The Office, but you can also watch The Office Superfan episodes. And what that is they take every outtake, everything that was cut on account of time and constraint, and they plug it all back in. They plug it all in. Yeah. They're called Superfan episodes. And some of them are, an extra 5-10 minutes. Some of them go a little bit longer, but it's pretty cool. Some of it's story building, some of it's more antics, more humor. Yeah, really good stuff. Yeah. What else we got here? Say the feud, so to speak, between Dwight and Jim reminds me of Sir Elton John versus Sir Rod Stewart. Yeah. Sometimes stories are well worth telling. Watch the space for a post about their friendly rivalry. Yeah. And it was always looked at as Jim was like the cool, funny guy who was kind of rebelling or fighting back against Dwight, who was kind of like overbearing. But when you go back and kind of look at perspective, somebody did a video and they said that Jim was the bully of the two. And when you went back and looked at what he did and the things that he said or put Dwight up to,
right?
I could see perspective both ways. Dumb things like he bought a spool of electrical wire and ran it 4 feet up a pole. So he would go up.
He looks and goes, that's okay. I made it up there. I don't think Jim was mean spirited though. I just think he was having fun. He was a prankster.
Sure.
But
sure.
He never did anything malicious.
No. And you saw that regardless throughout their relationship, there was times where they were definitely making that connection and looking out for each other, I think the most malicious it got was, do you remember the snowball battle?
Yes. I was going to say the snowball was great. He had him.
That was great. That was great. Watching Jim, not in the office with the bloody nose, when he's walking out to the car with the umbrella and he's stabbing. There's like 30 snowmen out there. He's in a total panic. Hilarious.
It was a clever show. The writers are very clever.
Amazing show. Yeah, Steve Carell has become a fox. Janie, he really has. What's funny is a lot of those guys now, they're being looked at as kind of like older heartthrobs. So John Krasinski, Steve Carell, and you see these guys and they're very distinguished, salt, pepper hair, full beard, Yeah. It's kind of interesting. They come from the world of comedy the way that they do. Yeah. We got Janie. I don't know, Mike. I think the stapler in the Jell-O was a little malicious. Oh, come on.
Oh,
listen.
That's just fun. Like what's when they put all the Dwight stuff in the vending machine. You give him a bag of nickels. Here you go. Yeah. Okay, it's not. It's more all right.
Listen. Yeah.
More mean-spirited.
I mean, what it can be like in the workplace. I mean, working in elementary school is different. But when I worked in garages for 25 years, trust me, nothing they did was mean-spirited. I mean, some of the stuff. Oh my gosh, some of the stuff that we would do to each other was these days probably borderline. You'd end up getting in trouble for it. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, everyone had pretty thick skin back then, but you had to because after a while you developed scar tissue. So. All right. We got one more here from Robert. So long story short, during season 3, Krasinski desperately wanted to work with George Clooney. Yeah. He shaved his head for that movie, Leatherheads. Yeah. Which wasn't allowed to do. So he got a wig and based his hair to prove that it wasn't noticeable, even when filmed the entire episode wearing it. Yeah.
I like Leatherheads.
If you watch it, you can actually you can make it out. It just looks a little rattier, a little kind of more out of place than what it normally did. Yeah, I knew he wore a wig, but I didn't realize that was unplanned. So that's a good fact there for
There's a Robert's fact.
Robert's fact. Yeah. Hello, HR. Yeah. Very good. Speaking of which, man. Sorry, guys, I gotta apologize. I kind of had a last minute issue and had to kind of switch gears here. So I'm running a little bit behind the 8 ball here. So, all right, very good. Well, I want to get into some of the meat. To me, is what made The Office The Office, and one of the best things that Mike and I both agree on is the cold openings were by far some of the best parts of that entire show. I mean, that was one thing you did not want to miss. Some of the cold openings, not some of them. I mean, every single series had a couple of them that were just hilarious. Had nothing to do with the show, but just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to roll out one here. This is one of my personal favorites, one of many, but I absolutely love this one. Hopefully, you guys at home big fans of this one too. Here we go.
Parkour.
But I tell you, that one still catches you. You still got to laugh out loud when he jumps into that box at the end. Oh my gosh! Oh, unbelievably hysterical. Here we got a couple people chime in. Every time my cat gets zoomy, she runs all over the house and bounces off. I always do this scene when she does. Yeah, really good. There was, we were speaking earlier about some of the later seasons. One of my favorite cold openers, maybe you've seen this one, Mike, maybe you haven't, is when they bring the character Nate on. Do you remember him?
Nate.
Yeah, he was only on.
Is he the guy in the warehouse?
Yep.
You always give him a piece of gum. I'll get you a stick of gum.
That's it, piece of gum.
I remember a couple episodes with him, yeah.
So the first time he came on, it was a cold open, and Dwight was driving into downtown Scranton, and there would be a bunch of like migrant workers or like illegal aliens coming in and trying to find work. And so he would drive down this one street and he would ask questions, do you speak English? You want a day's worth of work? And he picks up Nate. He's going, he's I think he was trying to speak Spanish, and he's going, where are you from? He's going, a la Philadelphia, a la Scranton. And he takes him back. He said, I'll give you $70 for a full day's work. And he takes him out in the parking lot, and there is a hornet's nest up in the tree. Did you see it? Uh-huh. And he lays a tarp out. He doesn't tell him what to do. He lays a tarp out. He goes upstairs and has the entire office watching. And he turns this whole thing into a bet, like, what is he going to do? And he has like a baseball bat. I want to say he has like a torch and God knows, like, I don't know, like a shotgun or something laid out on the tarp, and they're all watching to see which one he's going to take. And he grabs the baseball bat and goes up and starts hitting the Hornets. Oh, of course, he's just getting completely swarmed. And they're like, I want to say they were taking bets on it, but yeah, absolutely hilarious. Yeah. Really, really good. Yeah. Welcome, Kelly. Kelly's joining us tonight. Kelly, thanks for coming in, hanging out again. Yeah. Very good to see you. Awesome. Do you have any cold openings that stand out as your favorite, Mike?
Well, I told you before the show, I like the one where they're in Florida. And they're going around waking people up. And then they get to Jim's room and he's explaining how he gets up early anyway. When they walk in, he's got the blood writing on the wall and the suitcase full of money. And it was Dwight. And then he just falls out of the closet. It's, yeah, that's good. And then I was watching the other day, the one with the, no, the little musical number.
Yes, that was, and you know what? Not funny. That was amazing. Like, I thought that was really done well. Yeah.
You can tell Steve Carell must have been like a amateur magician.
Yeah.
That's probably why he did that Burt Wonderstone movie, because he could do all that stuff.
Oh yeah. He was wearing the hat. He had the little, remember, he had the little thing doing the sparks. So it was like licking the knife. Remember? We got here. Did any of the series stars win any Emmy Awards? Carell won, didn't he? Like season 3 or 4, I think.
He may have. I know Ricky Gervais won one for something, and Steve Carell accepted it for him, because the next year at the Emmys, and it's on YouTube. It's a great clip. Steve Carell or Ricky Gervais is a presenter, and he goes down in the audience, and Steve Carell, I guess, has been traveling with his Emmy and takes it everywhere, and he makes him give it back to him because he was just holding on to it.
It was under the seat.
Funny. Yeah,
he had it under the seat, didn't he?
Yeah.
I am looking up here real quick just to see what I'm coming across. So it says that it won a Peabody Award in 2006, 2 Screen Actors Guild Awards, a Golden Globe Award for Carell, and then 4 Primetime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Comedy Series. So
nice. Not bad.
It must have done pretty well. I still think the ironic part is when it really, really took off was after the show was off for like 2 years. Yeah. It was like Next Generation came around, and then when COVID hit, oh my gosh. It was just
that's when I found it. Yeah.
Yeah. It was bonkers. And next thing you know, we had kids running around. My son and his buddies like wanted to sneak and watch Netflix. You think they'd want to sneak and watch other things. And at 14, and they wanted to watch The Office, and now, I mean, I have elementary kids who come in with Office shirts on at school and going, you've got to be kidding me. Your parents let you watch that kind of stuff, Yeah. What do we got here? There should be a reunion. Has been big talks for a long time, and a few of the Office members have said they would be willing to do one, but I don't know that they want to do a TV style format. I'm thinking, I know 1 or 2 suggested maybe like a single show, maybe like a 1-hour show, or it was suggested too, maybe a movie, because, if you remember, number one, Steve Carell left. And if you remember at the end, quite a few of them left. Jim and Pam left. Who was it? One of them.
They all went their separate ways.
Yeah, one went to Texas, some went to Philadelphia. Yeah, a bunch of different places. And so it would kind of be weird to kind of, hit the reset button and have everyone be back all together,
Creed went to jail.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Andy went to Cornell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oscar's running for congressman or state senate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. After having the affair with the senator or whatever. Yeah. Good stuff. And speaking of Carell and winning all his awards, some of his characters that he would do. And a lot of these characters morphed from other places or went into other things were just absolutely hysterical. And I don't think he was the funniest guy on the show, to be honest. Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't think he wasn't my favorite guy on the show. I loved him because he was such a loose cannon. But some of his little guys that he did for cold openers and stuff. Blind Guy McSqueezy top. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. I mean, that was like every time I see that, I think of was it Mr. Magoo? Who was the cartoon when we were a kid? Blind Guy? Was it Mr. Magoo?
Yeah.
I think of like a perverted Mr. Magoo. Like that was Blind Guy McSqueezy, you know?
Michael Klump.
Michael Klump. Yeah. Yeah.
Got Prison Mike. You got Michael Scarn, the secret agent.
Yeah. And then Date Mike.
Yeah.
Date Mike, he's at the bottom there wearing the hat. And then Ping was at the Dundee Awards. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine trying to pull that character, like half those characters off now? There's no way.
I'm surprised they don't, because I hate when they do that, but a lot of times, even Comedy Central, they'll delete a word or they'll bleep it, and they don't do it on The Office, because a lot of the stuff, especially when Packer's there, a lot of stuff he says, it's like, oh wow, they're letting him get away with it.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. And his character was like just like 100% like misogynistic, like to the nth degree, you know? Yeah. Yeah, without a doubt. You know what? I've got a little clip here of not a Mike character, but I got a clip of Mike. Uh-oh, wait a second. I just got a knock on the door. Who just showed up? Hey!
Hey, howdy.
Hey, guys. Hey.
How are you?
Well, I'm good.
Hey.
I'm actually in bed.
Hey, that's okay.
No big deal. I was gonna have some chili, but it spilled, so I had to get nachos anyway. So I'm screwed. I didn't have chili. Sorry, dude. I'm sorry.
Listen. It's okay. I brought chili for you.
Oh man.
Oh man. You know, I have to say, you know, over the years, I changed who I thought my favorite character would be. Like at first, I was in love with Dwight, and of course, everyone was.
Yeah.
He was just the guy you love to hate. You love his one-liners, his snarky attitude, and always a Creed fan. But I quickly became a Kevin fan.
That Kevin's so good.
Kevin was such an unutilized character. And he's so unsuspecting. And in real life, if you sit and listen, he has his own podcast. And if you sit and listen to interviews or him talk, you don't think much of the guy. The guy is incredible. The guy's amazing. Pretty intelligent guy to talk to. Incredible athlete. Apparently, he's a fabulous golf player. Like apparently when he goes out and does like what are the pro-ams and stuff, apparently he just like wipes up with it.
No mulligans then, apparently, huh?
No. And just a lot of natural talent. The episode when they play the basketball game, and they show that at the end there, because they wouldn't let him play. You know, Michael was like, oh no, you can't play. He sits there and he sinks like 3-4 shots in a row. That was not edited. That was him. They said he sat and did that for like 15 shots in a row.
Seriously, so he did all those free throws.
Yeah, that's just his athleticism coming through. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could not just sit here and type. I got tired of it. So I'm like, I'm tired of typing my name, so I just decided to jump on.
So, hey, that's all right. I'm glad you jumped on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been kind of a rough start to the night here, man. I jumped in the truck, cruised back over to work because we lost internet. Drove right past the Comcast truck. So at least I know what the problem was. And yeah, I got here. I had about 5 minutes to spare just to get things up and running. So, hey.
But you did it.
I did it. We're all here. That's
you did it, Flash. What are you doing?
Yeah, no kidding, right?
You did it, Flash. I know. I look like Jabba the Hutt's sister leaning back like this. So let me just sit up a little bit, okay?
You're perfectly fine. You're perfectly fine.
I had to go and do some errands. That's why I'm late. But I'm glad I chimed in. I'm glad you put in Kevin with the chili. That's one of my favorite episodes. I was really hoping to have like a thing of chili from Wendy's and eat it tonight, but it just didn't work, brother. I'm sorry.
It's a thought that counts.
Somebody's chiming in here. I've never seen an episode of this show. However, I love in a most extreme way the movie Office Space. Yeah, and kind of in the same vein.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of the Office Space, I would think you would enjoy The Office.
Yeah.
Especially if you ever worked in an office.
JJ's.
One job I never had. Yeah, never worked in an office.
Well, I can tell you it's not fun. Some offices are, some aren't. So this show really does have the dry humor and to show you how it really can be run and what happens behind closed doors that the public doesn't see.
Yeah.
With that humor. So, but JJ's a trooper. Anyway.
And a hoot.
Right.
Anywho. So what else you got, brother?
Well, I know who's saying this, and this person keeps heckling us to stay on longer, but he won't come on. I'm not going to name any names.
He's chicken. I'll say his name. I'm
not going to name any names here, but
Victor.
If he would come on, I would consider doing a longer show one night, Vic.
Yeah.
Did I say that out loud?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear you in the back. What?
Victor Marabelli, is that who we're talking about?
I think so.
Just throwing a little heat your way, buddy.
Victor, are you ashamed because you're Canadian and you'll say a boot? You'll say a boot a lot. You'll come on and say, "What are we talking about?"
I have a boot. I have two of them. I have two boots.
I got a pair of boots too.
I got a pair of boots. You know what? He just needs to come on as our number one fan and actually tell everybody what he likes every flipping week about our shows. That's all there is to it.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And I want to see something that says challenge accepted.
Come on. This is your chance. We're waiting.
It's your chance, Victor, right now, buddy.
Come on. It's John Cazale's anniversary of John Cazale's death. You can talk Godfather for you.
Ooh.
There you go. Vic, yeah, you can pick the topic, Vic. We'll roll with it.
That's a good idea. Maybe that's what we need to do with some of our viewers. Pick out a topic that they want and we'll just run with it.
Come on. Yeah, I would love that. Some good ideas.
It's worked so well in the past.
Yeah, right.
Run, Forrest, run.
Let me wipe that off my face. Sorry. Wait, we're getting a response. You three don't need me. Sure we do.
Yes,
we
do. No.
I can put up to 10 people on here. Most of we had was 6, so we could definitely put you on there, buddy.
Here's the thing: we wouldn't have a show if it wasn't for Victor and those people that continue to watch every week.
This is true. Yeah, exactly. Got another good comment here. Maxwell Smart talked into a shoe. Speaking of which, that was a very good remake of a movie, wasn't it?
I did. Yeah, Steve Carell as Maxwell Smart. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I thought he did it very, very well.
Yeah, it was really great. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, how about favorite episodes? I pulled up pictures of 3 of my favorite episodes. You guys have any that definitely stand out above the rest?
Go ahead, Mike.
I like the ending. The last 2 episodes.
Yeah.
I thought it really wrapped the show up well. I like the episode where they do the weigh-in and then eventually excuse me, I swallowed a peanut wrong. Where Jim and Pam get engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good episode. Yeah. outside the gas station.
I think like Jim and Pam was like the best romance ever on television.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't all a fairy tale. You know, it started out and he liked her and she liked him, and they liked other people, and they kept, you know, missing chances, and they got together, then they had trouble. So yeah, I think it was yeah. The episode I really didn't like was the they called it a backdoor pilot, the one where in the last season where Dwight's brother and sister show up.
Oh yes, yeah,
yeah. Farms. Supposedly that was going to be a spinoff for Rainn Wilson, Shrewd Farms, and I just thought it wasn't very. I wouldn't have watched it because it wouldn't have been enough Dwight.
Would have been out of context. It was kind of like, yeah. When I saw that too, Dukes of Hazzard, you know, went through their trials and tribulations, went off the air. There was a spinoff with the deputy sheriff, Enos.
Yeah.
Enos, yeah.
Yeah.
It was called Enos and Enos, and I tried watching it, and you know what? I don't think it made. Did it make it a season?
I don't think it did.
It may have made one season.
Yeah.
But it just didn't translate. Enos didn't translate to the big city.
Yeah.
It wasn't McLeod. I think they wanted another McLeod, but it didn't. It didn't work.
Yeah.
So how about you, Janie? Favorite episode?
Well, obviously, my favorite episode is when they try to do the CPR class, and anybody in nursing or healthcare just cracks up over that episode, especially when they take the dummy's mask and he thinks he's Hannibal Lecter. It's hilarious. we crack up over it, and of course, the one when he plays the pranks on Dwight, it's just hilarious. I can watch that over and over and over again. The stapler and the Jello just gets me. It does, and I want to do that so bad to somebody. I really do.
And the meatballs.
And the meatballs.
Oh, the meatballs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
And that was a complete reverse prank too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You've been meatballed. Yeah.
And I love Stanley. Stanley is my favorite character.
Stanley's good. Yeah. He's another one. Doesn't say a whole lot, but when he's on, you definitely enjoy it.
I don't know. Have you seen that? I know you were talking earlier, and I was watching about the bloopers that they have. And you know, when Steve Carell comes on, he goes, "Well, guess what?" He goes, "We get to go home." I want to do that so bad at work, so bad.
You'd be like Andy, just sing closing time at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah. He does a good job with it too. But yeah.
He's a very, very talented. Like I said, I didn't watch The Office till much after it came off the air. But I know in the Hangover films where he plays the piano and sings and that kind of stuff, I did not realize he was that talented a guy. There was an episode the other day where he's doing Sweeney Todd, and it's like Jesus, yeah.
Wow, Sweeney Todd.
He's always been a musician, and currently, I want to say he's in a modern bluegrass band, and they have two albums out, maybe. Yeah. Very, very talented musician.
Play that banjo. Him and Steve Martin play that banjo.
There you go, Steve Martin.
Well, Dwight was a bit of a musician, not on the level that he was at all, but yeah, definitely a bit of a guitar player. Did some things here. And Janie, speaking of which, I think I have your clip on here of Dwight with the CPR. If you want to catch
I love it.
Let's bring it up here. Here we go.
That whole episode, even with the cold opening with the fire and everybody panicking and and then doing the CPR and not knowing he's staying alive and
Oh my God.
Anybody that takes a CPR
doesn't have a wallet. I already checked.
Anybody who does a CPR course, we reference that show.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
A lot of places. I know at work, my work, they show it. We have our CPR class. Everybody watches it.
No kidding.
I'm sure other companies do too.
All companies, seriously. Yeah. So thanks, Office. We really you're doing well for the American Heart Association.
Making CPR fun, right?
Making CPR fun.
I just recertified. They didn't play that clip for me. I'm writing a formal complaint over that.
Is it still the beat of Staying Alive, or did they change the song?
I
thought there was a new song.
What did they do for you? Did they say anything with you, Nate?
It was 30-2.
It's 30-2, correct.
30-2. I don't remember the speed. I thought it was still Staying Alive, keeping that 100 whatever beat per minute going, right?
Well, actually, I would go, we will rock you.
Bum, 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 pump, pump.
Yes, that's it. So either one of those two.
All right, let's bring a couple comments in here quick. What happened to the actress playing Pam? She did a couple of movies, both during and after. I don't know if she has a lot going on right now, but she does. So she and the other girl from The Office have a podcast that's probably 6 or 7 seasons in, and it does really, really well. Yeah.
Jenna Fisher, I see her a lot on TV here because she's from St. Louis, so they run a lot of St. Louis, come visit St. Louis ads that she does, her and John Goodman and a couple other people. Sterling came around. Yeah.
And she and of course myself and names, she and the blonde from The Office, they're the two who do the podcast, and they are in real life like best friends. I mean, they really are.
Cool. That's kind of cool.
Extremely. Yeah. I think that's why they got together. Yeah, whoever plays Angela, I think that's why they got together and started the podcast. And most of the interviews, if you go on YouTube, if one of them is being interviewed, the other one's there with them. A lot of them. Yeah, really good friends.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm thinking when they were talking about if you had a chance, who would you sleep with? And Roy said, "Who's that tight ass Christian bitch?"
And then Michael said, "Ryan." Oh my God. Yeah, we'll roll a couple more comments up here. Seeing Rainn Wilson in the Meg was interesting. He was great playing the villain. I thought he did a good job in it. You know, it was a popcorn movie, and he had that smart ass kind of cavalier attitude, and he got it in the end, so it was good. Yeah. He's done a bunch of movies that unfortunately a lot of them didn't do overly well, and I thought some of them were solid movies. There was The Rocker. Did you guys ever see that?
Yeah. No.
Yes.
That was good. He did a superhero movie that was really dark, and it might have been called Super. I'd have to look, but he goes out and gets this idea he's going to be a superhero, and I mean, gets pretty messed up, and it's very dark. It's if you've ever seen the Jackass films, it's that, but it's darker. It really is. Jackass. Yeah. It's not quite as comical and as funny. It was a pretty dark film, and I don't think that ever did very well. It was a good film, though. And he had his own series for a while. He was a police officer or detective.
I can't remember.
Didn't last very long.
Oh, that's right. He played Dr. Demento in the Weird Al movie. That's where I saw him. I knew I'd just seen him in something.
Yeah. He's done a bunch of things over time, and he's always had something going on. Podcasts. He had one called like Soul Pancake. Can't think if that was the same one or not. He had an like old 70s like Chevy custom van. He would drive around and like interview people in the back of his van and stuff. I mean, he's always had a huge philanthropist, like very big philanthropist. I had bought some shirts from his organization where he was like supporting like children in countries that did not have much for infrastructure and education, always doing something well. I just received for Christmas, one of my really good friends got me a signed picture of him, and it's the print of the episode where they're trying to find the person who flashed Phyllis. You guys remember that one? And the very last scene, Jim tells Dwight to go in the bathroom. He's like, "Hey, I think I saw him in the bathroom." And he goes in the bathroom and he goes like this in the mirror, and you can see the mustache. I have a copy of that, and it's signed by Rainn Wilson. It's hanging up in my garage. That's cool. Yeah, that's really cool stuff. Yeah. And it says, I think he signed it, "You cannot hide," I think is what he wrote on it. So,
You're nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. All right, let me get that out of the way there. Got a couple more here. What else we got here? I think Rainn Wilson was in My Super Ex-Girlfriend. Not familiar with that one. Not arguing with you.
I've heard of that, but I can't remember who was
the one with Uma Thurman.
Yes, I think so. Yes.
That's like the movie that made the least amount of money ever in history.
No kidding.
Opening weekend, it made like $4 or something like that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's not even Razzie material, is it? Yeah. Well, some of my favorite episodes, and selfishly because I pulled a couple of my favorite ones up. One on the left, that was the Meredith Palmer 5K. In fact, I'm wearing the shirt tonight.
Nice.
It's the shirt that they're wearing right there. That was a great episode. That was, I don't know if you remember. Do you remember the cold opening to that? What happened?
Is that where he runs her over? Is that what Michael hits her? Yeah.
It is.
Jim is back. My protege Ryan is at corporate. Good stuff. Andy and Dwight are rocking the sales team. I feel very blessed.
And if you ever notice, next time you watch it, when she comes back in and she has her body cast on, he has Jim sign it. He signs John Krasinski.
John Krasinski, that's right.
His
Whoa.
name. Yeah.
Man, I'm sorry.
I love Meredith. I thought she was, she didn't care.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm slipping. I forgot to pull up. But I have to apologize. I didn't have enough time to get together, Mike's facts and Janie's facts. Instead, you get a Dundee. You get a Dundee tonight, my friend.
All right.
Mike's Dundee tonight. Here we go.
Raise, man. That's a corporate raise for Mike right there.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah. And I have to give a shout out to the injury episode. That was the one where Michael burns his foot in the George Foreman grill. Listen, I laugh in that from the beginning to the end. Between he burns his foot, then they get him to work. Remember, so Dwight crashes his car and throws up on the back of the car.
He's got the concussion, yeah.
And has a concussion.
And Jim's like, Dwight, you forgot your bumper. Yeah.
and they bring him back to the office, and then he goes in to use the bathroom, and he falls in the bathroom, and he's yelling. He's yelling for them to get Ryan. And he's going, we're out of toilet paper. Someone's got to come in and clean me up in here.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. And then it ends where he's asking Ryan to go to some gas station in Carbondale and buy him like yams and I don't know, something in chocolate pudding. And Ryan says, I'm going to do what I do for my dog. He took like 3 aspirin and crushed him up and put him in the pudding. Oh my God. What a great episode. Hilarious episode. My gosh. Yeah. So, about some sayings. What are some favorite sayings from The Office?
Oh, what was the one that I like? False. That's the one. Yeah.
Besides the obvious ones, like, that's what she said,
Yeah.
Which you still hear being thrown out there.
What was it? Beats something and Battlestar Galactica. That one I hear a lot from people.
Beats, Bears,
Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, I work with a couple of guys from IT, and one threw one out the other day thinking I wouldn't know what it was. And I said, listen, Dwight, please. And he looked at me.
Beats, Bears, Battlestar Galactica.
Battlestar Galactica. He goes, oh, you know it. I'm like, get out. I told him, get out.
I think my favorite line in that series, and I'm going to paraphrase it, but I can't remember it, is the last episode when Andy says, I wish we knew we were in the good old days when we were in them. And I was like, oh, that's such a great sentiment.
That's a great line.
Yeah, amazing line. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah. We buddy of mine I work with and I had a little competition. We were trying to pass off office quotes years ago in the workplace, which is kind of hard to do and kind of hard to hide. And especially doing with what I do. So we would put them up in like the staff room or in the copier room. And that's where we would put these things up. And he got the best of me. So he is a phys ed teacher and he put up the quote of Michael Scott quoting Michael Jordan. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. And he had it up as an inspirational quote for the building. It was hilarious. I couldn't top that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was funny, but it was kind of cool in the same respect because it was a good quote to begin with, you know?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah. Definitely.
That's some great writers on that show. They really did. That are just memorable.
And from my understanding, it was all scripted very well, but they had a lot of input going into the scripts from the actors. They would even pull like stories that the actors would tell and then write that into the script. Yeah.
I think a lot of them wrote. I mean, Mindy Kaling and B.J. Novak and Paul Lieberman, Toby.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They did a lot there. Beats, Bears,
Battlestar Galactica. That's my favorite.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
And my Kevin had a couple of good quotes. One I put up there was, "I just want to lie on the beach and eat hot dogs." Love that. I wanted a shirt with that on it, you know?
When's your birthday? If you get that, I want you to wear it on Martha's Vineyard.
Oh my gosh. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Yeah, really good stuff. Well, we're just about kind of rounding out the hour here. I did want to kind of share. So I don't live horribly far away from Scranton. Scranton is about an hour and maybe 45 minutes.
That's not too bad.
No, it's not bad. However, once you head north where I'm from, once you get about an hour north, maybe even further, but then head east into what is called the coal cracker country is really what it is.
Right. I know where that's at. Yeah.
A lot of older towns that not a whole lot left anymore. Scranton and Williamsport, probably like the two thriving metropolises, and they're not really big places or big towns. And I had been through Scranton. We used to have a cabin in northern Pennsylvania. We would pretty much drive through there to get there. And I went back, I don't know, 2-3 years ago. I ran the Scranton Marathon. I was doing a lot of running at the time, and I was picking a different one every fall. I would run, coming off of my run club with my kids. And I was like, hey, let's do Scranton. We can go do a weekend in Scranton. You know, my wife and I will do all the office stuff and all that good stuff. And we went, and you could go around and see a couple things, but the show was never shot there.
Right.
So they were very, very, very big on staying true to everything relating to Scranton. Right. So you could go see places that were talked about and mentioned, but very little was ever shot there. But I did grab a couple pictures while I was there. So the sign, when you see the opening credits, the sign is at the Steamtown Mall. That's a picture of me standing next to the sign. Very small mall, has maybe a dozen shops. For the most part, somewhat vacant. But you can go there and get a picture of yourself with the sign.
Yeah.
When you're driving down the main drag, when you see that the pen paper company, that iconic building, the one right in the middle, I mean, I'm taking the picture from pretty much the exact same intersection where John Krasinski he filmed that entire beginning section out of the roof of his buddy's Jeep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so I took that picture, and it almost looks blow for blow, you know, copying the angle and everything and what he did. That I didn't do that on purpose. It was because I had foresight in that matter. Just happened to be there and was like, oh my gosh, how can you not take that? So Cooper's Restaurant, we ate there. It's actually a really cool place, neat place, and food is pretty good. And if you go down to, I can't remember if it was the church or if it was the municipal building on the left there, it's a little hard to see next to Mike. They had an honorary Dundee was given to the city of Scranton. Stood about 4 feet tall.
I see that.
Yeah, that you could look at, and it was scribed to the front to the city of Scranton and all that kind of good stuff. So
that's pretty cool.
It is neat.
Is there a big hill in Scranton?
There is. There is. Yeah, it's a pretty big hill getting into Scranton. So, I mean, because of where you are, a lot of mountainous area. So you're either going uphill or downhill. And the only reason I remember is because the last stretch of the race, I had to run. It was 3/4 of a mile to get back up into Scranton.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. Wasn't that fun? Although the first 3/4 of the race, you were downhill, flat, down, flat. And then you started to kind of work your way back up. Although ironically, if you remember the race episode, they weren't smart enough to make the 5K into a loop where you ended where you finished. I signed up to run the marathon, and I went and I got the email, and it said, now the race started at 8 o'clock. So typical, be there an hour ahead of time just in case.
Right, sign in, yeah.
We had to be there at 6 o'clock in the morning. And this was in springtime in Scranton, which is like freezing temperatures. And ironically, it wasn't a loop where you ran Scranton and came back to Scranton. They drove you 26 miles north to the town of like Dunmore, which is mentioned in the show a couple times. As a matter of fact, mentioned Jim, when Jim buys the spool of wire, he bought it at a yard sale in Dunmore. They drove us 26 miles north to Dunmore, dropped us off, and then made us run back to Scranton. That was
God. Well, you have an incentive to finish, though.
It was a good run, but yeah, I just thought it was funny that it kind of mimicked the 5K, from the show.
I asked about the hill because my only familiarity with Scranton is the song 30,000 Pounds of Bananas by Harry Chapin.
Mm-hmm.
Talks about the horrible accident where the truck lost its brakes. I was like, yeah, and it's a true story. So I was like, well, okay. Must be a big hill there.
Yeah. That building alone sits down off a hill. You're at an intersection looking down to it. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Wow.
And finally, music. Do you know who wrote the theme song to The Office?
No clue.
Had a big hit in the 70s.
Any other clues? There's a lot of people in the 70s that had a big hit.
Remember the song Thunder Island?
Oh.
Goodbye, Thunder Island.
Oh, no.
Jesus, God, you guys are kids.
Why will we do that?
I gotta listen. I gotta hear it. Yeah.
Jay Ferguson
wrote the lick. Oh man, we got looks like Janie, you're late to the party. Mike's getting his second Dundee of the evening right here.
Nice.
Oh my God. Okay, listen. I'm just glad I'm here. Don't even start, okay?
That's right.
Keep your HGTV out of it, all
right? Oh my
this was
God.
fun. This was lots of fun.
Yeah, it was a good time. Incredible show. Yeah, it's got to be, at least for me, the best TV show, not sitcom, not TV show.
Yeah, I agree with that.
20 years that I have that I can still, I'll walk away from it. Like, I'll be honest, I haven't watched it in probably 9 months, maybe a year. I'll go back and pick it up probably soon because now it's on my mind, and I'll start at one and run it all the way through. It just, that memorable for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Well,
Mike is allowed to have the Dundee because literally, I mean, it's kind of his show anyway, so. That's nepotism.
Nepotism. Come on. All right. You know what? If I have to, I guess I'll have to softball you one here, Janie. Here you go. I don't want to leave you hanging there. Okay.
That's a consolation prize for showing up.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'll take it.
It works, right?
I'll take it. Yes, without the chili, I'll take it.
Yeah. Everyone gets a Dundee.
Even Crocodile. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
so I think we'll we'll just tease it. We have a very special upcoming episode. Let's Talk Jaws Live. Keep an eye on the page, and we'll tell you who's going to be there.
That's right. Coming to us. Already knew you. Yeah. Special edition.
It is a special edition, and it is a special show, and on a special day and time.
That's right.
That's
we
right.
Sound like,
so
we sound like you sound like NBC in the 80s. No. on a very special episode of Let's Talk Jaws Live.
I'm just gonna go with keep your ear to the rail. Wait to hear what's going on, and not only when, but when. It's also
correct.
I'm not going to give you too much, but it's not going to be on a typical Thursday night. So keep your eyes open.
Yep. So stay tuned for more details of our special show.
Awesome. All right.
Be there, be square.
That's right, Victor.
One of these days. We're just gonna have to pull an old school and just take a van and just kidnap him, bring him back to the States.
Listen,
you know?
I'm due for a vacation, so I say let's take road trip. You know,
there you go,
Griswold style. Let's just
or
go.
Victor, come down to SharkCon. Well, I'm sure they build a Tim Hortons in Tampa. Come on,
come down to SharkCon. Yeah, it's okay.
It's gonna be good.
There you go.
A lot of fun. Going to be there.
I mean, it's not like you don't have places to stop and see people. You can just visit and then go down and come back.
That's true. You can come down. You can stop in Detroit and see Keith. You can stop in Ohio and see Ross. You can stop. What's after Ohio?
South Pennsylvania
next door.
See me.
Go see Nate.
Well, he'll see you, and that's a long way to go, though.
It doesn't matter. It's a vacation. Do whatever you want.
Down. Unless he goes over to 95 or takes 75. Take 75 right to Tampa.
Take 75 right past Knoxville to see Janie, and then right straight on to SharkCon. There you go.
Right. We're on cruise control.
Every block.
See, we got a plan for them.
Oh.
There.
He's asking, when is SharkCon? July, what is it, 14th? 14th,
July 13th and 14th.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I also found out it's also that Friday is my or that Saturday is my high school reunion.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Everybody I want to see, I already have seen.
Yeah. Or you keep in touch with, you know. Yeah.
This is the way I look at it. If they haven't gotten in touch with me by now, that's it. Yeah.
I went to one. I went to my 25th, and that was it. It was enough, you know. On a whim.
Yeah.
All good. Cool. Well, all right, guys. We're gonna wrap it up. Another fun episode here. Always a blast, but cool to hit some of these topics. We tend to kind of go down beaten paths on here. So a lot of fun, guys. I want to thank you guys for joining in and hanging out with us. And we'll be back again with something kind of sharky. And again, keep your ears open, keep your eyes open for something coming your way. Should be fun. All right, guys?
Something sharky this way comes.
Yep. We know something you don't know. We know something you don't know.
All right, guys. Have yourselves a wonderful evening and a beautiful weekend. And we'll be talking to you soon.
Bye, guys.
Take care.